recap.
We survived. We
Yep,
leveled up.
yep.
You fucking scoff, but man, we got close.
Nathan got close.
Evie also went down to like half health in one hit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just Nathan.
I hope you felt the, like, bitch. Like,
I did.
you were in just as bad a shape, just in a slightly different way.
My brain is now cushioned.
And we leveled up, and then all the characters went and did their various whatever for a little bit of time as a recovery, and then this bitch walked in talking about we are suspected for crimes, but she needs our help. Cop can't do her
You're
own
under
damn job.
arrest, unless...
Cody, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Cody is electing to ignore that comment.
Right.
And it's some sort of murders where it sounds vaguely vampiric, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, things were exsanguinated.
What does that mean?
Drain the blood.
Rango.
Oh, what it actually means is it's an X-cost sorcery, and it's X.
Ma'am.
It's actually not an X-cost sorcery, so I'm lying to you. But it does cause all of your opponents to lose, a bunch of life. You gain life equal to twice the amount of life lost, though.
Bitch, I'm gonna mute you.
Also, I'm pretty sure exsanguinate X cost source.
It's to Deathless I'm thinking of.
Anyway.
I'm going to leave. We're turning this into magic. I did not sign up for magic tonight.
Soon.
So, we left off with Detective Rebecca Redfield. Great. Recruiting and hiring the squad to look into something, because her coworkers fucking suck. Alright. So, we can pick up with all of you still in the office, because I think there was something some of you wanted to do. Is there a phone call that needs to be made? I don't remember exactly.
Fuck if I know.
I don't fucking remember neither.
We're starting off
Are
on
we
a
gonna
good...
go examine the bodies?
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember.
Okay. Iris, I request you eat your mic, please.
What if I deny that request?
Well, we're not going to hear you, and you can't RP
can't hear
that
you.
way.
Did you try to deny the
Fine.
request? Because I couldn't hear it. Hello.
Fine, I won't deny the request. Does that make you feel better?
Uncle.
Yeah. Well, I think that we just kind of hand-waved that Rebecca was calling the morgue so that we could go look at the bodies. I think that's what you remember as far as phone calls.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So, going to the morgue. Rebecca?
Yes.
Are you there? Okay, so, calling at the morgue. I'm sure you know a guy there. What is your plan on getting these people in because they have no actual relevant credentials. The only one credentials that they have are not really applicable. Unless you can try and spin it a certain way.
Well, I mean, aren't two of them like academics? Are they associated with a institution?
Good question. We haven't figured that out yet.
Evie? Elaine? The academics in question?
I'm sorry. Dua Lipa's performing at the Grammys, so I lost a brain cell. What are we talking about?
Oh my god.
Academics?
Mm-hmm. Trying to... What is Rebecca going to tell the people at the morgue so that y'all can get in and look at bodies?
Is Evie actually associated with a university currently?
Yeah, because we talked about that during the advancement period, that she probably does like lectures and stuff at a university.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's like, I don't know where the fuck Boston universities are.
Y'all are in New York.
Oh, we're in New York. Okay, we're out of Boston.
You guys went to Boston for that first job.
All right.
Your home base is in New York.
This Boston police officer came back.
Mm-hmm.
She took us back to Boston. We just need to be based out of Boston at this point.
Oh, Boston. What a pleasant city. Yeah, so I mean, like, Evie's probably associated with one of the universities here, whether that's like NYU or Columbia or something like that.
Okay.
And then Nathan's a park ranger, right? I can just say a body was found on a park that was in a similar condition.
Coming in to see if it's a wild animal.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. Bringing them in, and obviously Elaine must be there because that is Evie's research, assistant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, make the call. You get, a time. You guys get there, and sorry, just give me 1 second.
That's nice in the middle of the silence.
Alright, I am back. Sorry about that. Stomach's a little queasy. So, you all head back to the great city of Boston. It's almost like you were just here. And I have a question. Does Rebecca have a car?
I assume most
so.
detectives would have.
Okay. I just wanted to know that, last time they came here, they all took the train. So is Rebecca going to give them a ride, or?
Yeah, I think they can all fit.
Can we?
There's only 3 of us, so it's passenger seat.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Even in old-timey cars, there's enough room for 4.
Yeah, this ain't a big party.
Yeah, I'm just so used to our parties being like 6 people.
Just sit in someone's lap. One person in the trunk.
Man, I've driven like that before.
I've been in the trunk before.
Alright. So, hi, Sailor. Ow. Man, all the interruptions, huh? So, you all make your way to the morgue. And Rebecca gets you guys in. The person at the desk recognizes you guys. You called ahead. You guys get your little day passes. And you are led to the room with the bodies.
Gross.
Mm-hmm. The doctor wheels them out one by one. The most recent one has... Wait. They'll probably just wheel out one for now, unless you guys want to see more. Mm-hmm. But these ones are... Good?
I think Nathan would tell them if that's a question that is posed in any way,
Mm-hmm.
of like the most recent one that they have and the oldest one that they have. Kind of get the two ends of the spectrum.
Okay. So the most recent one that they have is a week old. And they wheel it out. It still has the cloth covering it. And as they wheel out the other one, which is older, however, not much older. It's about 3 weeks old. About like a month. So you have like 1 week and then a month. And as he uncovers them, they look nearly identical. You see that the bodies are just husks of a person. The skin has flattened against the bone. It looks like there's no meat left at all. It's just skin and bone stretched. Skin just stretched across the bone. And the most notable thing you notice is that the throats have been ripped open. The skin there from the entire front of the throat and some of the chest area down to like your clavicle is just gone. See jagged cuts around the edge of the wound. Anyway. Sanity checks. Oh wait, rolls! Luck
We have
checks.
to do luck checks.
Luck checks. Everyone roll luck.
I'm also reminded of something frantic citizen report something.
Yes, our lovely friend from the last encounter has painted us as ne'er-do-wells who may have possibly committed a murder.
Oh yeah, there was the opportunity if somebody was going. I think it was Cody. Read in character.
Right.
All right.
I have nothing for you. I'm sorry.
All good.
But
All
I
right.
did. Rebecca, as a show of good faith, did give you all the file so that it's like gone away.
All right. So
It's sad.
Evie and Elaine roll 1d10.
Yep,
That'll
and
be
then
added to your luck.
gain that luck. I'll take 5. I'll take 5.
You need it.
I do.
I'll take 2.
All right. Yes, so in the files, essentially what it boils down to is that These bodies were found over. Oh, slight little retcon. The oldest body, rather than 4 weeks old, is almost 2 months old. Okay, so and that these bodies have been found in alleyways near the docks with no other things. Essentially, it's kind of once encounter every couple of weeks. So I would say in total, there are probably like 12 bodies stretched out across 2 months. And that the most recent one was the biggest instance of death and bodies because the one from a week ago had 4 bodies and not just 1 or 2.
So there's something that caused more death recently, whether that be an escalation or more things attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, nobody else is gonna step up first. Nathan's gonna go and kind of try to examine the wound.
I mean, I could do medical stuff. We were getting additional information, so.
Is there anything more, Amy? Because there was a silence, so I assumed.
Yeah.
Wasn't there also a sanity check or something?
Yeah,
Yes.
we had to roll sanity.
Before that, everyone roll a sanity check. Because this shit's gnarly.
Man, I would argue that fucking Nathan was seeing this shit, animal attacks and things. Damn it.
Yeah, animal attacks. However, you haven't really seen someone reduced to bone and skin. So, yes, sanity check for Nathan too.
Fuck it. I'm spending 1. You can't do that on sanity checks, can you?
I believe you can't, no. I think it's just push rolls, luck rolls, or not push rolls. It's just luck rolls and sanity checks. I think you can't spend luck on.
Well, never mind. Nathan's not doing anything.
Yeah,
right.
Evie also can't do anything then.
The only one that can is the fucking detective.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
If we failed our sanity?
Yeah, you guys are just gonna lose some.
Okay.
There are different effects.
How much are we losing?
Yes. Everyone who passed is going to lose none. Everyone who failed is going to lose 1.
Evie hardly feels that because her brain is so cushioned. She's at a whole 57 sanity.
Oh, Jesus.
How did you lose so much sanity and yet you still almost have the same sanity that I do?
Because she gained it back. Oh, man.
If I remember right, I rolled really well on the regain sanity roll while we were leveling.
Some bullshit.
So are we doing our examination rolls then?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask for a medicine roll.
Could I interest you in biology?
I will take a biology.
Good, because my medicine is 1.
Well, I was going to argue, if you'll hear me out, because he wasn't like looking at the medical side of it. He was trying to more so place like, do I know a creature that does something like this?
Okay.
So
give me a natural world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan knows he is not a medical person. But sometimes he knows things. Fuck it, I'm going back to my fucking dice.
I was wondering why you were rolling.
Because I was wanting to be lazy. I had the urge to be lazy because I'm doing some other shit right now with my hands, but no. Fucking roll 20 can't work with me.
Mm-mm.
It's bullshit.
So, Evie. With your biology roll, tell me, what is she looking for?
I think she's probably trying to determine perhaps, I mean, I don't know if cause of death would be that helpful here. Obviously, many things have killed this creature, but perhaps anything unusual that we might be able to go on, method of blood extraction, whether the victim was alive at the time that the blood was taken out of them, like, that sort of stuff. She's doing a Scully. She's doing a Scully.
Okay. So, Evie, with that success, as you examine the body, something that, do you think Evie, sorry, never mind, out of context, you examine the wound and you take out your tools, you poke at it, you try to look into the opening to see what you can see. And the first thing that you see is that there is still blood. Not much, but there's still some. As you express the wound, there is still blood in the victim. It is not drained completely of blood. There's a lot of it missing, like a whole lot of it, but it still has some blood. But as you investigate further and you pull at the skin, Evie, you notice that what this person is 100% completely devoid of is fat.
Interesting.
It's just fat that's gone. And a lot of blood's also taken, but there's still some left. It's just the skin, there's no cushion of fat under it, there's none of that.
What about the organs? Are they all there?
Organs are there.
So it's really just the fat then?
It's really the fat and the most of the blood. But predominantly the fat's missing.
Okay. Evie will, studying this and still wearing her slightly different than usual outfit with, I imagine, a very big floppy hat that she did not take off when she came in.
Oh God.
Has braided her hair, done her makeup differently. It does seem you were rather concealing the truth from us, officer. This person hasn't been exsanguinated at all. As you can see here, there's still plenty of blood remaining within them. What we're seeing here is a bit of a fat loss. There's none of that to speak of.
Interesting. Rebecca takes out a little notebook and starts making scratches.
Z, did you want to re-roll with your dice?
Can I?
I will let you re-roll with your dice.
Okay.
I will be nice.
That's an extreme success. That's a 15.
God fucking damn. Alright. So...
My mini dice like me.
What you notice, as you're also examining the wound, is that you don't really recognize these bite marks. It's nothing you've ever really seen before. Because it looks like all of it was just ripped out in one chunk. But there's something you do notice, is that there's these little incisions on either side of the wound. It's very small, but you do notice those. And they're positioned just to the left and right of the center of the wound. And as you kind of tilt your head and look at it from head on, it looks like whatever this thing, this creature was, it had hooks. that attached itself to the person and then proceeded to rip the throat out and then drain it.
You said hooks, H-O-O-K?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
try to make sure I'm understanding this. So, like,
Mhm.
it hooked and then something separate ripped it out, or the hooks were in and the hooks ripped it out?
So, this creature essentially has hooks or teeth or something small and sharp that attached itself to either side of this person, like in their like neck to shoulder area, in that spot. And then with an extreme success, so the creature hooked themselves on, and then that same creature bit the throat, ripped it out, and then drained them, using the hooks to just stay latched on.
Okay, so like a separate set of jaws almost.
Yeah, it's something. It could be claws, it could be another set of teeth.
Yeah, I'm just
Essentially
trying
just
to get
tiny
the
little
like
hooks.
basic
Yeah.
level understanding descriptor in
Mhm.
my head.
Yep.
And so Nathan, I imagine, went to the opposite body from Evie and is kind of poking and prodding and is uncomfortably close to the wound as he is looking. Well, this one's gonna be a weird one if nothing else. And he'll kind of like crook a finger for Evie and Elaine to come over and show them where he can see the separate hooks or the separate marks. Figuring from at least what I can gather, this is going to be what they're using to latch on and well, secure itself.
Can Evie take a look at these like hooky bits? Do they remind her of any like creatures she might know?
Give me another roll.
Biology?
Sure.
Let's go for it. That's 9.
May I make a request as well?
What'd you say?
Could I make a request to roll to figure out maybe what kind of
Yes.
creature it could be?
What are you looking for?
I was gonna ask occult, since it's their specialty in study.
You said occult?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a roll.
Sweet.
But Evie, you're not sure what it is exactly. It might be the position and the angle of the different little wounds Nathan shows you and the overall like cut of the throat wound. But you get the impression that this is not an aquatic creature. Now, would Evie know about other creatures, or is she just specialized in anything aquatic?
I mean, she would have had to go through other classes to get to the aquatics, I imagine, but I'm not sure.
The question would less be, would she know? Would she have paid attention and remembered?
Oh, yes, that is indeed the question.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that there are some non-aquatic animals that she likes, but certainly less attention paid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I will say that there is something that does remind you. The teeth shape is all wrong. However, the way that they're arranged is very circular, almost like a cookie cutter shark. But teeth, 100% not marine or aquatic. It's not that same type of tooth. It's very snaggly and sharp like fangs almost, just arranged in a circle.
Evie also kneels down and like leans down and gets uncomfortably close to the wound.
Reminiscent of a cookie-cutter shark, but not quite the same. I don't think that this is aquatic, at any rate. Can rule that right out.
And, alright, Elaine. What exactly are you trying to look for here? Like, what's her thinking here?
My thought process here, or I guess Elaine's, would be trying to go through the like from what from the fact that it's missing like the fat and stuff. It's like going through the archives in the head of like, okay, what kind of mythological thing could have like is tied to that, to eating fat or something along those lines, is my thought process.
Okay. So, Elaine, you've read... There are a couple of different things that come to mind. All of them very bad. All of them are things you never want to meet.
Oh my god. Cody.
And your first thought was just hearing it. All of you also thought it out of character, just like, okay, are these fucking vampires? Are those real? And then you see it and you're like, okay, wait, no. This doesn't really look right. But Elaine, with a hard success, you remember something that you read a very, very long time ago. Something that dates back to the original conquistadors arriving in Latin America and the legends that came from that. Different occult novels and different cults in that area come to mind. Namely, what you think of is... I'm sorry, my words are very, very bad right now.
I knew that feeling.
I'm just like, man, I have the what I want to say. I don't know why I can't phrase it right. But essentially, you think back to reading about that time because of the cult of the Bloody Tongue that originated from that area. And you remember that, oh, that had their own version of something similar to a vampire. And in fact, you remember the name of it. It's called a Karasiri.
Can we get a spelling on that?
Yes. That's inspect element? Nope. There you go.
Okay.
There's that you think of. There's also something else that comes to mind, which, if I can flip through it. You think of these little insects that originate from another thing, and these insects are, I can't pronounce that, something that essentially eat flesh too. However, as you're looking at it, and after Nathan describes the hooks also there, you're getting Karasiri vibes. Which, if that is the case, good luck.
Elaine listens and watches as Nathan and Evie get really close and inspect it and whatnot. And I imagine she has like a notebook or something, like she's taking notes for Evie and for everyone. That's kind of her assistant job, right? And like as she's writing, she kind of pauses and like a light bulb went off kind of thing. And she gets a very concerned look on her face and writes the name on the piece of paper with a question mark, and just kind of slides up next to between Nathan and Evie, and kind of takes her pen and points at the word and it's the word with a question mark. Yeah, because just in case no one overhears them and thinks they're crazy.
Nathan will kind of look and tilt his head a little bit and arch his brow. And he'll look towards Elaine. What is her expression and mood as she is presenting this?
She's concerned. She's her normal bubbliness is a little bit like it's turned down to 2, and she's more in like a thinking kind of like more serious, I guess, is kind of her vibe.
Well, I'm figuring from that expression on your face, this isn't gonna be a good one.
No.
And Evie doesn't know what these things are, right?
I assume, unless you want to give me an occult roll, only Elaine would know about him.
Makes sense.
You say occult roll,
Evie.
and I immediately like maybe, and then I look at my occult. I'm like, no.
You know what? You know what, Z? I will YOLO that for you. Holy shit!
Holy shit! You've heard of these. And I feel like Evie knows about them because she got them mixed up with cursed fish. The name. I feel like she was looking up some specific species of fish and she found this instead, and she was like, wait a second. What the fuck?
Evie looks at the name, pauses, blinks. Oh, those things. Did you know I was looking up information once on a certain species of fish, and the librarian handed me a tome about these creatures. It was dreadful, really, the amount of time I wasted reading it, but I did read it, all of it, and she looks over at the body again. I have to admit, that does seem rather sensible as a potential target.
It was just the first thing that came to mind.
Well, it's excellent thinking.
She'll hand her notebook over to Rebecca to get her in on this too. She just wanted the insight of her peers first, just in case.
I don't know that Rebecca would know what she's looking at.
YOLO roll.
I mean, she could write something like equal to fancy vampire, essentially.
Specifically, a fat-sucking vampire.
Okay. And what are we supposed to do about this? And she poses that like to the large group.
Yeah, well, I'm figuring whatever this is from the concern of the ladies, it's not something that's going to be easy to hunt and deal with.
Was the victims, are there certain types of victims, or just are they all the same?
Different types.
Like, are they all guys? Are they all women? Are they a mix? You know.
A mix. Most of them men, though.
Okay.
Which could be because they were all found near the docks.
Yeah, near the dock. Yeah. Well, what is important is we come prepared, whatever we do.
Would Evie know what coming prepared means here?
Can I know what coming prepared means? What the fuck are y'all talking about?
I was referring more to, if you're fighting a vampire, you bring garlic. So do research to figure out its weakness. Learn the legends, the specific legends. Get what you can to prepare for it. Literally, come prepared.
Okay. I will say that none of you have ever encountered a vampire. And there's a lot of lore around the world on vampires and what they can and can't do, what weaknesses they do and don't have. So you're aware of all of those. However, you're not very aware on if any of those are actually true or if they would work on this specific type of vampire. But you are aware of all of those if you want to just prepare all of that.
Well, the other thought too, like as part of this, was like we're going back to the library. Is my suggestion. Try and get more knowledge on it.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Is Elaine suggesting that, or are you just preparing that?
It was more implied, I guess, is Elaine was trying to imply, like, yeah, we should come prepared, as in, if y'all never watched Supernatural, like,
we've been over this. There's too much man pain on that show.
They have the great big book of everything,
Okay, jeez.
Very insistent growl.
Stop fucking messaging me.
Nathan will just kind of sigh and rub the back of his neck. Well, I guess the good thing about being back in the big city is it's got the big libraries here.
And so more of us to do the research.
I will also remind you all, you can go to the library.
That's what Nathan was just talking about.
Or you could use some of those other books you found.
Evie would love to use one of the other books she found.
So would Elaine.
Are these books bound in flesh?
No, well, you don't know that actually.
They could be.
They could be.
Sus.
I mean, Nathan's not going to think of that unless somebody else says it, because Nathan is very much of like, we're not touching those unless we absolutely need to and under supervision.
So Evie will think of it then. Evie will... Yes, it would be terrible to be caught unprepared for a matter like this, and, well, I happen to recall that we recently came into possession of a few, shall we say, more expert tomes concerning cryptids and other such creatures that I could perhaps peruse. And then she looks at Nathan.
Immediately, very sour look on his face.
Elaine looks excited. she has the almost the puppy dog eyes of like, oh please.
You have to admit it'd be helpful.
And it would be a lot faster.
And y'all could go fucking insane reading it.
We could go insane fighting it, especially if we show up unprepared, couldn't we?
What is worse, losing your mind or losing your life?
Nathan just looks at Elaine, and there is a look of, like, very deep, like, consideration for a moment. Please tell me you're not really asking that.
Elaine shrugs.
Two of you would not know what to do if you couldn't think straight.
Oh, I think I could figure it out.
He just sighs. We will go to the library first to see what they have, and we will take a look at those books at the hotel later. But when I say you're done, you're done.
Evie holds out a hand. Deal.
He will shake, and he'll very pointedly hold his hand out to Elaine next.
Elaine, when Nathan had shook Evie's hand, Elaine had kind of backed up slowly behind Evie.
When you're done, Elaine.
She looks annoyed, but shakes his hand.
And he will nod, and then will look at Rebecca and, like, point in her direction. And you are gonna make yourself actually useful in all this, and if they give me too much trouble, well, it's a little bit rude for a man to put his hands on a woman, but you can drag their ass out of the room.
She just gives him like a playful salute.
Before we leave, though, Nathan does want to examine the bodies, give them a good once-over, see if there's any, like, defensive wounds or anything. Like, anything that might hint of, like, a bigger story than just they got caught and, like, chunked up and bled out.
The most recent one, you do see that the knuckles are a little busted.
Okay. So there's a possibility of a fight that was put up, but not for the older one.
Nope.
There is an eyewitness to the last one.
Yeah.
There's an eyewitness account, and you didn't bring this up sooner?
I didn't want to give everything away for free.
Evie just narrows her eyes. Well, What was the eyewitness account then?
Worker down at the docks. I wasn't the one that personally interviewed them, but I do have their file somewhere at my desk, I think.
You could go back to the office and get their file. Or, this happened a week ago, so it wouldn't be too out of the norm to just go talk to them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you didn't interview them, and considering how the other detectives are treating this, can you really trust that report?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, perhaps we should speak to this eyewitness first. She looks to Nathan. What do you think?
And Nathan just kind of crosses his arms and gives a little nod. I'll hope when this eyewitness manages to keep that shit together long enough to talk to us. It's worth a shot.
All right. So, I'm hearing eyewitness first?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So, you all make your way down to the docks and say that Rebecca probably grabbed the file, just have the information. Figure out, like, what the name is for him.
Mm-hmm. Name, address.
Name, address. You do see noted down that this stock worker is the one who always worked the night shift, which is when the bodies were found. So, he's probably not at the docks right now, but you do have his address, where he's probably sleeping. So,
Well, if he works the night shift, do we want to do the library first then?
Probably a good idea because he might be better not to wake a man up and have him pissed off and groggy.
Especially a manual laborer. Like, I don't know if we could take that guy in a fight, honestly. Well,
and if
Evie
we
couldn't. Nathan probably can, but
if we join him at the docks at night too, we can be at the scene of the crime, so to speak.
Nathan has fought demons. I'm sure he could take a dock worker.
But Nathan has to be in tip-top shape if we're gonna go mano-a-mano with a fucking vampire. And he's already still 1 health point down.
So yeah, I say library, then dock worker at night.
Yeah, that'll work.
sounds good to me too.
To the library.
To the library. Let me see some library use rolls.
Nathan, don't fail us here. Nathan and his fucking incredible library use.
For no goddamn reason.
Nice.
I continue the roll check. It is a regular success, but it is a success.
I love
Alright.
that for him.
Rebecca, are you rolling as well?
I will try.
It's like an 18 versus a 20.
She is not a library person.
Yeah, she's a woman of action.
Yeah.
You never know because Nathan is not supposed to be a library person either. Again, he has a 20. He has the same thing. Still never fucking failed a library check.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. It's very funny.
Why that is what he is blessed in, I don't know.
So, looking up the library, you find just regular vampire lore. Elaine and Nathan, the regular successes. Oh no, that's a hard success. Okay, so you have regular, a hard, and an extreme. Okay.
We have
Interesting.
all 3 steps.
Awesome. Oh man, if only Rebecca crit, we'd have everything.
My apologies.
So, Nathan and Elaine, both of you guys find just general vampire lore. You find different sources. Some of them are saying that they don't cast any reflection. Other of them are saying like, no, they do cast reflection. It's just like that. The other one is bullshit. You find things that kind of contradict themselves, but you're able to parse through and find some mention of different types of vampires. However, those don't really go into much detail. But you were able to rule out across different sources which of the things are bullshit and are probably not true. And one of the things you find is that they can, in fact, pass over running water. They can change into smoke and mist at will. And, Elaine, you find that it's not the first bite that turns you into one, it is the third bite. The third bite causes the victim, to die and then become one of them. And Evie, with your extreme success, you find something that kind of runs a little chill down your spine. You find mention that some subspecies of vampires are not weak to sunlight. And can be out and about in broad daylight. And with your luck, that's probably this type. You also find, Evie, that in order to kill one, you have to essentially take them down, and while they are down, you have to run a stake through the heart.
All the classics, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have anything about eating fat here? Like this particular kind of vampire, do we think that this particular kind of vampire adheres to the traditional vampire rules?
I will say, I don't think the regular library has such specific information.
Are we still in New York? Or are we back in Boston?
This is Boston.
Yeah, they're going to Boston.
Okay.
But,
All right.
you see some mentions of different types, but they don't really go into too many details. But that's what you can get from the regular library.
So, shall we see about grabbing some steaks, perhaps? Or do you guys, what time is it now?
Have to be in the evening by this point. We assume we drove here and like all that type of shit.
Mm-hmm. 'Tis evening. You guys can take a quick little dinner break.
Before we head out to meet with Mr. Dock Worker Man.
Yeah. What do we have a name? We have to have a name. What's the name? DM.
As the sound of Amy going to a random name generator.
Shut up, shut up, shut up. Insert name.
I get to give the turnaround now. It is my
Freddie.
time.
Freddie Langston.
Oh, like the poet.
All right. So, you guys do a little dinner break, go over your notes and what you have found off of VVM vampires, and what you can assume for this particular type of vampire. And you all make your way towards the docks. Where it's evening time, it's quiet. You see all of the day shift workers are leaving. They're on their way. A few of them look at you of like, why the fuck are people coming here now? But they're not paid enough to ask questions. And you make your way over to where, Rebecca, you would know that Mr. Langston is setting up for his graveyard shift. And that typically he's the only one here. He's the only night person here, so he's kind of getting worked to the bone. So you don't have to worry about other dock workers butting in to your little follow-up interview.
Hello, are you, Freddie Langston?
Freddy rips around. Yeah, that's me. What's up?
She'll flash her badge that's, again, on her, belt, I assume. Detective Rebecca Redfield. I'm here to follow up about the incidents that took place a week ago.
Oh, are you some kind of fed?
No, I'm employed by the state.
Like a state fed?
Sure, let's go with that. I believe you spoke with my colleague.
Yeah, and I told him I listen. What do you want to know? Okay? I thought I told him everything I knew about the people that came here and the group of dudes that just up and he does like a finger across the neck.
So there were a group of individuals. How many?
He looks over his shoulder like someone's gonna be behind him. Just kind of looks around a little bit nervously, and he's like, can we like, can I walk and talk? I got a lot to do. I'm the only one here, okay? But yeah,
Sure,
there was a group of people. I don't know what they're doing. They're making a ruckus, right? These like group of guys that come in. They're fucking around with stuff, but I don't know. I don't want to deal with them. I'm usually the only one here, and it's like this group of 5 guys. If I say the wrong way, they're gonna fucking run up on me, okay? And I'm not a pushover, but I'm certainly not gonna be able to beat 5 dudes. I can do basic math. He holds up 4 fingers.
Certainly.
Yeah, no, like those dudes, those are the ones who got and he holds out his hands, like open palms up, and then crunches his fingers together and makes 2 fists.
So they all got crunched, or they did the crunching?
Oh no, they all got crunched. They all got he like he's busying himself with menial labor, but he also like keeps looking around very nervously. He's like, look, okay. They are the rest of is the whole party standing behind you?
I assume so.
I mean, if the whole party is there, if like this guy Freddy is starting to work and seems to be just like moving shit, like even without question, Nathan will just step up and like help him.
Thank you. And he just looks around and he's like, are you guys all feds? State
No.
feds or whatever?
No.
Oh. Gives a look up and down to the non-detective women. He just kind of shrugs. He goes, yeah, so these dudes, right? They were mucking around, causing a ruckus. They've been there a couple times before. It's been like a thing for months, It's what with the the sauce being ixnayed by fucking. He gestures vaguely towards where the Capitol building would be. Just goes, anyway, yeah, like these guys. One night, like a couple days ago, a week ago, whatever, they're over here fucking around. They're not breaking anything, so I'm not bothering them. There's another group of guys that comes up, and I seen them here twice. They don't they don't bother nobody, but they look, kind of shady. This group of like hooligans, right? These 5 group of guys come up on them, and it's fixing to me. It sounds like it's gonna be a big fight. Sounds like it's gonna be a mess. So I kind of tuck myself to the side. I don't want to get involved in this whole, conflict. And I hear one of them say something that sounds like Spanish or Italian. I don't speak any language or whatever, but like they say some kind of something, and then I hear, and he stops, and just kind of gets real nervous, and kind of wrings his hands together a little bit, and just goes, I hear the thing, and then I hear screaming, you know, like real screaming. You know the kind of scream when you hit your thumb with a hammer, and you just, it hurts, and you yell. Not that kind. I mean real from the gut. You ain't gonna make it out of this scream. He wipes his forehead with the back of his hand. And yeah, I hid. I didn't want anything to do with whatever that was going on about. So I hid. And after, I don't know, a couple seconds, maybe a couple minutes, I don't know, I didn't keep track, but after a bit, I poked my head up, screaming stopped. When I poked my head up and I see him, that group of 4 guys, the ones who were talking in a funny language or whatever, they're gone. Gone. They ain't there no more. And those 5 punks who I'd seen every now and then, I mean, they look bad. I didn't get too close to them. You ever seen a shop rag at a car wash? You know when a shop rag gets all dried out? It looked like that. I mean, if they weren't wearing the clothes that they had on at the time, I would have thought it was just a bunch of pieces of weird colored tarp thrown about on the ground. But yeah, wipes his hand again. He's like very visibly nervous. Anyway, I don't know. One of those guys, I mean, they took something off of the bodies. I don't know, like a some kind of it looked like a piece of suit or something. Really fancy kind of silky fabric. It certainly didn't come from those punks, that's what I tell you. But it looked like some kind of piece of a uniform, like the and he gestures to just above the belt around his stomach, like his abdomen. He's like, what do they call it? The bun, that thing, the cup of bun or whatever. It looked like some kind of piece of that, some kind of fancy bellhoppy wearing thing, like a museum uniform. I don't know.
Was there any sort of symbol that you saw?
He shakes his head. Hey, shoot. Search me, I didn't see no symbol. I didn't stick around and look long enough to see if there was one.
Did you get a good enough look at these people that were speaking the foreign language to give, I don't know, good descriptor on one or two of them?
Kind of wipes the back of his head, or wipes his forehead and rubs his hand to the back of his head and scratches. Goes, yeah, I saw him for a minute. Nothing too detailed, but I could probably give you something to go off of. Looking to Rebecca, like, that's what you want, right?
She nods. Yes, please. That's why we're here.
He thinks about it for a second, puts one hand on his belt, kind of wipes his nose, and like goes into that thinking posture. He's like, think there was, I think, three, four of them. There were three dudes and one dame. We got I think they were Spanish, maybe.
Lots of sounds.
He just what's your character's name again? Not Elaine.
Oh, she is Dr. Evelyn Chambers.
He looks at Dr. Evelyn Chambers, Evie, and he's just like, yeah, sorta. I don't know. Yeah, they kind of, dark hair, kind of light tan skin. He gestures up to like one of the nearby light posts, and he's like, when it's dark out, I only got this one light. It's not the best I could give you, but if I had to pick a specific type of nationality, I would say possibly Peruvian.
Rebecca looks increasingly confused. Is there anything else you can remember? Maybe something that wasn't on the top of your mind when you spoke with the other detective?
Well, I mean, nothing that I could think of, but I make sure to steer clear of those folks when they come back.
And you haven't seen them around here before?
Oh, I've seen them around a little bit, but only last week was there an incident.
Whereabouts have you seen them before? They've been hanging around one spot in particular.
He thinks about it for a second, kind of rubs his chin, gestures it partway down the dock, and he's like, yeah, they kind of shove off from around there. They always take some kind of, I don't know what, some kind of big fucking machine or something. I don't know, it's some kind of big thing.
And oh, gone.
Have you seen them talking to anybody else on the docks or nearabouts?
Shakes his head left and right, and he's like, nope. No, they only stick with each other.
Is there a large Peruvian community in the area? I'm curious as to what made you categorize them in such a way.
I mean, I know about Little Peru. It's like, a couple of blocks away from where I live. There's a Peruvian chicken place over there that I go to all the time. It's real good. If you haven't been there, they got some real good, I don't know, chicken and basically just chicken, really.
And what makes the chicken Peruvian?
The chef.
Good answer. Good answer.
Evie turns to Nathan, small smirk. Does that mean that everything I make is by definition English?
Nathan looks her up and down.
What if I made French toast? Would it be English toast?
I think that's going to be a conversation you need to be having with Elaine.
Elaine shakes her head.
Freddy scratches his chin, and he just looks, and he's like, "Hey, you making fun of me? I don't appreciate being mocked."
Oh, no, I'm not making fun of you at all. I was just genuinely curious. I don't hear very much about Peruvians in specific. So it just piqued my interest, that's all. I'm unfamiliar with this chicken that you speak of. You said that Little Peru was near here?
It's a couple blocks away. Like, I mean, I can walk it, but it takes my morning. I gotta wake up early and walk it.
Would you be able to give us directions?
Yeah, probably. See, what you gotta do is you gotta walk this way for about 3.5 blocks, and then you're gonna see this sign, and he's gonna go on like that for about 2 minutes, unless you stop him.
Evie will let him go.
Is coordinates of like, at the corner of 29th and 4, and blah 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 this way and blah blah that way. Look for the like broken whatever sign. Go that way, take a right, then take a left, and then step over the trolley tracks, and you're there.
Evie nods, fully confident that she's not writing any of this down whatsoever.
What did you say his name was? Because I know, you're the Fed. And he points to Rebecca, and he's like, that's Agent, whatever her name was. But are you with the Fed?
Who, me? Oh, I'm what you might call a private consultant, Dr. Evelyn Chambers.
Oh, you're like the Sherlock Holmes type.
Precisely that, sir.
Yeah, okay, so you're not like an official cop, but you like do the cops for them. That makes sense.
Evie nods. I should invest in a deer stalker. I think that would make me more trustworthy here.
No.
Well, you gotta stalk deer.
What's the cap for stalking deer?
He like blinks and looks over to Nathan. And he just goes, "Oh, okay, you'd be a Watson." Yeah, I read those books once.
Nathan, there's a moment where you can see him processing, considering, and he does not respond.
Evie will nod, and she's perfectly fine with this layout of events. Will take out the canteen that she took out earlier and hand it toward this gentleman. Thank you for all the assistance, by the way. Feel free to have a swig or two on the house.
Oh, thanks. And he looks over. He looks over at
Rebecca?
Elaine. Not at Rebecca. He looks over at Elaine, who's standing probably like not in the back, but off to the side slightly from everyone else.
She
At
was
least him.
Yeah, she was quietly laughing at the Watson remark in the back while she was taking notes.
He looks at her, and he'll just take a swig of the thing that he gets handed from Evelyn, and he's just like,
It's gin. It's straight gin.
Oh God! He makes a face, and he looks at it, and he's like, oh, "This tastes like shit." You got like I don't know what is this. Is this moonshine? Is this like some trashy moonshine?
It's gin. Thank you. What you're tasting is juniper berries.
What are juniper berries?
They grow on juniper trees.
Do they have those in England?
Oh, yes, quite a few of them. We're rather well known for our gin.
Oh. I thought you were known for, like, tea or whatever.
Also tea, yes. It is very hard to get a good cup here.
Oh, please don't get us started.
Elaine is going to move up next to Rebecca and try to convince her that this is just a joke and it is actually water.
She is both unconvinced by what you are saying and also uninterested.
Yeah, like she tries to get us arrested for alcohol after she let us into the fucking morgue to see bodies. She's in too deep already.
She tried.
Freddy puts the thing that Evelyn handed him into his shirt pocket.
Evie's eyes narrow, but she allows this.
It's in his shirt pocket. He puts taps his hand on top of his pocket, like home sweet home, and he just goes, hey, and he looks over to Rebecca now, and he just goes, you're not gonna arrest me for this, right? This is all part of the investigation process, right? You'd have to tell me if you were gonna arrest me. That's like a thing.
We're not in the habit of arresting witnesses.
Really? Is that the case? Because I was under the impression that you walk about flinging murder accusations at just about everybody.
Hey, I didn't kill nobody. I watched.
Oh, not you. Not you.
Heard...
You're perfectly fine.
You're pretty fine yourself.
Whatever
Evie
box
just
Nathan
blinks.
is helping him carry, Nathan stopped helping him carry.
Hey, buddy, I gotta move this one, down to another 10 feet. You good?
Yeah, depends on if you got anything else you want to tell us.
He thinks for a second. No, I think that's it. Yeah, they just those four. I mean, those three guys and the one dame and something in the Peru, and then they jump on one of them boats down there, and they go off. I don't know where they go, but they come back eventually, sometime before day shift. But they
Do you know which way they go on the boats? Not where, but perhaps a direction?
Towards the harbor, I think.
Toward the harbor.
Kind of puts a hand to his chin, and he points in the direction. It's like, they kind of just I don't know. Normally, when people take off here, right? They take off in whatever they got, and they kind of peel out pretty much right about 100 yards out, and they'll take a pretty sharp left or sharp right, go in some direction, right? Well, these fellas, they go out. Fellas in the one dame, but they go out there and they go pretty much just make a beeline for the center of the harbor. Nothing out there. I don't know. It was like water.
Evie nods.
I think, actually, he points down in the direction. He's like, I think the boat's right there. I ain't got the thing on it, but the boat's right over there. If you want
Oh,
to fucking investigate the
a
boat.
boat? Yes, I would. Thank you. And Evie just immediately leaves.
Oh, well, okay.
Special interest hit. She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
Freddy looks over. Freddy looks over to oh my god, I'm so bad with names. He looks over to Elaine and he's just like, "You want to go get Peruvian chicken?"
It's maybe some other time.
He
But thank you
winks.
for the offer. She just gives a smile and a slight flip of the hair.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Starts hustling Elaine after Evie.
As they're going after Evie, Elaine will say to Nathan, I did not realize you would be jealous.
Less jealous more that I realize that you and the doctor are on two different ends of the spectrum with all this. She has no fucking clue when people are flirting with her, and you can't stop flirting.
I said maybe later.
Mm.
As this is going on, Evie just calls. I'm going to take a creative liberty here, DM. Evie calls back toward Nathan and Elaine and goes, Does anybody have a torch? I hear they have sturgeons here, and I haven't seen one here yet.
You're focusing on the boat, not the fish.
But what if there is?
The
We could see
boat,
such
not the fish.
this consternation upon Evie's face. But if we happen to see one,
What did I just say?
right. The boat, upon which perhaps, if one is very fortunate, there might be an extremely rare and endangered sturgeon.
If it is on the boat, you're not going to need a torch because it's going to be on the boat.
But I will need a torch to get a better look at it. We'd have to dissect it immediately.
Boat first.
Evie will let out a sigh. Boat first.
All right. So I'm assuming, Rebecca, do you have any last questions for Freddy as your three companions immediately start leaving?
Nope.
All right. As you
Thank
guys
you,
make way
Joe.
over to the
You're
I'd like to take
welcome.
a little moment here to thank you, Joe. That was very great. And thank you for
Forget
playing an
about
NPC.
That was really fun.
Fucking Peruvian chicken's great.
It was very good because Peruvian chicken is tasty.
Mm. Oh man. But as the group leaves Freddy to do his job, and hopefully he won't see anything else happen. Fingers crossed he doesn't get traumatized any more than he already is. We'll see. But Freddy, you watch as the strangers who came to interview you give you a drink and then leave, make their way over to the boat. Now, the boat's pretty far away from all the other ones. It's not that large. It can fit like maybe 10 people comfortably. I forget what it's called. Sorry, it had like at most 10 people crewing it. It's like, I don't know, the size of like a small ferry. But the back of it does have a space, rather like large rectangular space. It looks like there's something that's placed here that gets moved off and on. You see it like groove into the wood. And that's all that you can see like as you guys are walking up to it. Now, are y'all just gonna just hop on to this random boat?
Oh yes, Evie's just going to hop on unless somebody like stops her.
Nathan is going to. I'm assuming this would be more like a standard dock where like there's a dock beside the boat, like lengthwise.
Yep.
He's going to very carefully kind of like pace along the side of the boat and shine a light, trying to see if there's anybody that he can see, any movement or noise or anything before anybody gets onto the boat.
Can roll me spot hidden. Anyone who would like to look before proceeding.
Can I roll spot hidden, but only for whatever fish are around us at present?
Yeah, sure.
That makes perfect sense for her, though.
Spooky. I am rolling this just to see what the hard is on this.
Alright, what level of success did you get?
Evie got a hard.
I also got a hard success.
Alright. So, Evie, you actually see something you weren't expecting. You see a rather large halibut, which usually they're not this close to shore.
Evie sees the halibut and just immediately like starts making for the water where it is, as if like pulled along by a string.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan, there's a halibut here. Do you know how rare it is to see these so close to shore?
Don't jump in the water.
She looks like she's about to.
You jump in the water,
Alright.
you are staying damp and unhappy for the rest of the night.
Damp and unhappy and having seen a halibut.
Ooh, okay. So, I'll say, Elaine, you don't really see anyone. It's a boat. You don't really know all that much about boats, but you know, it's a boat. It's a boat shaped. It's on the water. Evie's talking about a fish. You know, seems normal. But Rebecca and Nathan, all of you, the two of you kind of scan the boat looking for any signs of movement, any signs that there's someone currently on it. And you don't see any. Coast is clear. However, as you think, okay, it's fine, we can go and investigate, Nathan, with a hard success, you spot a cup of coffee sitting on one of the railings near the door to the inside of the ship. Can't tell how old it is. could be days old, or it could be fresh. You don't know.
Nathan will, once he notices it, will kind of pause. We'll wait for, because I'm assuming Rebecca also did the kind of like pass by sweep.
Yeah.
So he'll wait until Rebecca is kind of up even with him again, and will kind of motion for her to stop, and then using his light point at the cup to clue her in. And will turn towards Elaine and motion her to like come back. And the very, very firm, Evelyn, come back here.
Evie is just on the adventure of a lifetime. She's as happy as can be. It reminds me of when I went to the beach in Guam with Charlie and my brothers-in-law, and I was floating face down in the water, and nobody wanted to take the snorkel from me because I was just having a great time, just floating. And I imagine that place is where Evie is right now as well. But the second Nathan calls her Evelyn, she turns and looks like a little surprised, and then just follows wordlessly, still computing in her head.
Yep. The needed response has been accomplished. Is Evie has quieted down and is too shocked to be talking for the moment. If I roll a listen, can I maybe get more?
Sure.
You're gonna
Rebecca, you can also try and roll listen if you'd like.
Okay.
Not as good at this, but maybe.
I'm also. I'm okay with this. Woohoo!
So that is a 28. And let me see here. Oh, not quite a heart, but a success all the same.
Okay. So, Nathan, what you do here is the sound of Evie's footsteps coming closer, which is music to your ears at the moment. But, Nathan, you and Rebecca both train your ears. Both of you are honed in on that coffee cup and what it could mean, because it is evening time. And both Nathan and Rebecca, as you listen, you both start to hear footsteps. Not from the ship, but from the dock. They're coming closer. And Rebecca, you hear what sounds, to you at least, like people speaking in Spanish.
Ooh.
Órale!
Can't really make out the words, because does Rebecca speak Spanish?
I'm unclear exactly how languages work.
We did do languages a little differently.
It's equal to education?
Yeah, so I'm changing how it works. Otherwise, it'd be like a regular skill where you would just put points into it. However, I'm increasing the base of it, so your character can know more languages if you want them to.
So So, like, your own is equal to your education, and then you can get a
Mhm.
second language at half that,
Mhm.
and then a third if you really, really want to at half that again.
Mhm. And then you can
I
use skill
mean,
points to increase those on character creation.
I mean, I want to say yes, but I'm gonna say no.
No, you don't have to. But that's how those work.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
So if you want a second and a third language, you can.
Yeah, not required. But yes, Nathan and Rebecca, both of you hear footsteps. And Rebecca, you hear the sounds of speaking that suspiciously, you can't really make out the words, but it sounds suspiciously like Spanish. Now, is that just your paranoia? Maybe.
Estos contrariados gringos. Y si puede tomar mi café.
Probably what they're saying, actually. And they're getting closer, by the way.
Rebecca is going to do some like hand signals, not sign, but like two fingers walking, hand puppet talking, signaling that they're coming this way.
Do the footsteps sound like they have, like... Are they still on, like, the main dock along the shoreline? Or are we talking about, like, they're coming down an individual dock where we're not really going to be able to get past them?
It's the main dock down the shoreline. They are steadily approaching the dock you guys are currently on, though.
Nathan kind of like tilts his head towards Rebecca and gives a little nod, and we'll look at Elaine and Evie.
Evelyn.
Well, I needed to catch your attention some way. You were off in fucking Narnia.
Well, it wasn't Narnia, that was a halibut.
You know what? No. You like your halibut so much. We're gonna play a little charade here. How much does Evie trust / like Nathan here?
Evie trusts Nathan at all times, which is why he was able to extricate her from her halibut. She's a little sad that she's not with the halibut right now, but she's willing to trust and listen.
And Elaine is working with Evie, but is Elaine also a water person like Evie is?
No.
No.
She specifically was really interested in Eve because of the new species she found out about.
Well, I guess the question is less of does she like the water? Does she tolerate the water?
Yes? What do you mean by tolerate the water?
Nathan's
Because I
gonna...
swear to God, if you throw her in the water, she's gonna have a fit.
Yeah, Nathan kind of like
Win
looks
in
down.
Boston.
What did Elaine say earlier? Better than death, right?
Yeah, Nathan's gonna look at the dock, and look at the ladies, and look back at the dock. Hey, if you're gonna be a little bit of play acting here, why don't both of you just hop in the water there, and we're gonna be escorting you back home. After you've had a little bit too much to drink, and ain't nobody gonna be any the wiser. She's gonna start turning Evie and pushing Evie towards the edge of the dock.
He doesn't even need to push her very hard. He gives her the light shove and she's in the water.
Elaine is having none of this.
Well, good luck, because he's about to catch her and toss her.
Nathan, I swear, do not do the... she starts cursing in French when she comes up out of the water.
He will just immediately reach down and grab her out and help Evie out.
I feel like he'd have to help Evie more because I feel like Evie is, God help her, trying to keep her eyes open underwater here.
I want both of you to roll me swim.
See, I was really hoping you wouldn't say that because Evie's swim is not as high as you would think.
Don't worry about it. This is mostly for flavor.
All right.
But I do want to see how do they take to the water. About
accurate. Yep, accurate.
Yep. Okay.
96.
90. Elaine, it's so fucking cold. How the fuck could Nathan have done this to you? Your hair, your outfit, this dress is supposed to be fucking dry cleaned.
Yep. That's exactly. He pulls her out. She is cussing him out in French.
You think something touched your foot?
Yeah, she's going off on him in French.
And Evie, you think you saw another halibut?
Yeah, Evie,
you're not sure though.
I feel like the failure is both that she's trying to keep her eyes open underwater and that she's like fighting him to stay under the water more.
Like,
it was Evie that touched Elaine's foot because she's trying to dive under.
Elaine immediately comes out and is half climbing Nathan to get back up on the dock, and meanwhile, like, Nathan's having to go fucking shoulder deep trying to fish Evie out.
It's a cat and a dog thrown into a lake. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He would have thrown Rebecca in, but Rebecca has a gun.
Speaking of Rebecca, those voices are coming closer. Those footsteps, you see them in the distance.
So we do have eyes on them. Are we in a place where we can watch them and they can't see us?
Currently, no. Here, let me take you to a little chalkboard real quick. So, we're going to say that you guys are here. Boat is here. Main dock is here. You know, there's like another dock down that way, you know? There's more over that way. City and the rest of the docks. You know, land is over here. And you spotted them, and they have arrived essentially here. There's a couple other boats in the way. Well, essentially, that is like the distance.
Okay.
An angle there.
Just like above table to make sure like what I'm thinking, so you're aware, Cody.
Yeah.
Is like Nathan had them jump in so that we can just like walk. Hold on. This. Just like straight up walk past and around.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially pretending that Evie and Elaine got a little too tipsy, and so they had to go down the dock to like fish them out.
Okay. That makes sense. That works for me.
With the very specific intention of going that way.
Rebecca is going to like unclip her holster so that it could be pulled very quickly if needed.
Quick draw.
Yes.
Nathan is going to hand Evie to Rebecca and take Elaine fucking under his arm because she is being feisty and angry. And Nathan's gonna start walking with Elaine.
All right. You start walking. How, Angie? Is she still cursing?
Yes. The whole way.
She like doing little punchies.
Yes.
As
The
you
whole way.
The whole way.
The whole way.
Very upset French woman.
Yes.
Evie having to have been dragged out of the water.
She's still kind of like raring, you know. Like she wants to go back in. She longs for the fields. And she just looks at Rebecca. Do you have any idea how many people we could feed with a properly sized halibut? Do you know what they eat? Everything. There might be anything in that stomach.
Fascinating. You'll have to tell me more later.
Oh, I will.
She will. Taking the punches, little grimace every now and then when she manages to actually hit the spleen or some shit.
And so you guys are just walking down the dock?
Yeah. A
Alright.
fast walk. Not a run,
Mhm.
but a like walk with a
Briskly.
purpose.
Mm-hmm. And as you get to the main dock, and you're, turning the corner, you see that that group of people have gotten much closer. They're like down one more dock, essentially. And they look at you, and you just see a group of 4 people, 3 men, 1 woman, all of them. They look at you, and the one leading it kind of just tilts his head a bit as you guys are leaving that dock in particular. What?
Nathan, just in case. He's not going to say this like super loud, like overly dramatic, but
Mm-hmm.
I figured Nathan has encountered enough of this type of stuff to like be aware that sometimes senses can be heightened, especially
Mm-hmm.
considering vampire lore and things.
Yep.
And so while he's getting punched by Elaine, he just kind of like tilts his head in her direction. Now, that is the last time that we let you get your hands on any of the stuff at the speakeasy. You're not allowed to go back there anymore. I'm not fishing you out next time.
No, it's said to Elaine.
Yes.
She so like this was a plan, right? Like she does understand that, but she's still pissed. So she'll just continue cursing.
Okay.
French Yosemite Sam.
I feel like I like the implication that they don't need to do the same for Evie because no sober person would go on about halibut to this extent.
Oh, so Evie's going on about halibut to Rebecca. I would like all of you to roll me a fast talk.
That's a fucking thing? I didn't know that was a fucking thing.
Oh, no, I came up on this last time when we were at the hospital, remember?
Can I just roll an Anki check?
No. Well, you can give them a bonus.
Sure.
I'll say Elaine, her genuine anger.
She's just pissed.
She's not lying at all. She's just genuinely pissed and angry, and that is going to give whoever is rolling a bonus.
But see, Evie's genuinely into this fish, though.
Evie and Elaine are not lying. The only one here that's lying is honestly Nathan, and that's not great considering his fast talk.
Is it also 5?
Yes.
I'll give you, because of Evie and Elaine not lying in the slightest and are just very genuinely just like that, I'll give you 2 bonuses.
genuinely like that.
Am I wrong?
You're not.
No, you're not.
So you are going to roll your 10s die 3 times and take the lowest one.
How much luck do I have? Because I need to meet it to pass, right?
Yep.
That's a big chunk of luck, but we do roll luck every session. So yeah. I'm gonna spend 12 luck because I rolled a 17.
Okay. You spend your 12 luck. And I think in that moment when the leading person in that group looks at you and the head tilt of like, who the fuck? That's when Elaine really fucking gets you. It's a genuine fucking hit. So the pain is real. I don't know, where'd she get him, Elaine?
So how is he holding her here?
Just kind of like arm wrapped around her shoulders, like both in this like shepherding gesture, but also a little bit like he knows she's cold. He is large and he is warm.
So, can we all agree here that, like, we can all see that Elaine wears heels, right?
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Remember that he does need to continue walking.
Okay. But she doesn't have to step on his foot, but she can kick his ankle.
He says that, gets a kick right at the end of the sentence, and you see him kind of hop for a second. And then, as he does that, almost over dramatically, he puts more of his weight on you. And now you're suddenly crushed by Mountain Man.
Trying to shove him off, push him into the water. It's no use.
Okay, well, through the price of both your ankles and your luck, you guys are not approached by the group as you make your way off of the dock and down the main dock. Where are you guys going?
Well, I would imagine, and you guys can correct me if you're wrong, that we would slow down once we're a safe distance away so we can kind of see if the boat takes off and goes anywhere.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sounds fair.
You go a little ways away, around the corner, hidden by other boats that are docked, fucking whatever, sleeping boats.
Same thing.
Yeah, same shit.
You gotta tell Mr. Amy that they're sleeping boats.
Sleeping boats. She'd be quiet, the boats are sleeping. You guys make your way around, just enough to regroup, you're out of sight. And you hear more talking. I will say, if you want to try and interpret vibes, you can roll me a psychology.
On it.
Fucking YOLO, I guess.
Damn. I'm gonna spend luck for that.
Okay.
So I have to spend 7, right? Not 8? Cool.
Yep, just 7.
Oh! Okay. What does this mean? That's either a crit success or a crit fail. I don't know what this means.
Is it all zeros?
No, it's 2 zeros and then a 1 on the D10.
Huh.
You know what? That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
I believe that is a 1 on the D100 on the percentile die.
Yeah, I think that's a 1 because it would have to be all zeros to equal 100.
Mm-hmm. And you can get 10 by getting 10 on the percentile and 0 on the 1.
Oh, okay. So a double 0 and 0 is 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a double 0 and a 1 is 1. And then a 10 and a 0 is 10.
Okay. So, you got a critical success, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Rebecca spent luck to get a regular success on the psychology.
Mm-hmm. If you want to take back the luck spent, you can.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. If you'd rather just fail because Z got the crit,
Sorry, Cody.
It's okay.
it saves them luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're having some fun with this one. You're around the corner. Elaine's still upset, and your ankles, you're able to walk it off. Takes a little bit. By the time you're around the corner and you're out of sight, out of mind, you're able to just roll that ankle. She kind of really got you. I think it's probably the heel digging into you. But you do hear the chatter. You can't really make out anything of what they're saying. However, there's something about the tone about it. Something about the fact that it gets quieter when they should be getting louder as you round the corner. And Nathan, there's a little bit of a spike in you for a second. You kind of feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. And you feel the same sensation you felt all that time ago, that night in the woods, those few nights in the woods. You're being followed.
I imagine there is they pause to kind of regroup and listen for a second, and Nathan takes a moment to get that sensation. And the arm that I imagine is still around Elaine's shoulders tightens a little bit, and his fingers dig in just a little bit into your shoulder, Elaine. And there is that very kind of not panic, but very tense look on his face again. Kind of like after dealing with the bet in the house. And he'll tilt his head a little bit and look towards Rebecca. I hope you're good at some fancy driving. And without another question, without another word, he will reach out, grab Evie's arm away from Rebecca, and again, not running, but much faster, dragging Elaine and Evie with him.
Okay. So with that critical success and the nature of the role, Nathan, you get the sense that they're not sure about your story. It looked real. However, you get the feeling that if you were in their shoes with a group like that, and they're doing something important, presumably, it would make sense for them to send one person just to check that out. And you feel one pair of eyes on you. You don't know where. But they are very firmly on you as you start to pick up the pace slightly.
there is a single-minded determination to get the fuck off the docks back to a car that they can get into town.
All right.
And if Rebecca so much as like pauses or questions, he will take the car.
Right. Rebecca, Elaine, Evie. What do you guys do? And Nathan's very determined all of a sudden to get the fuck out of Dodge.
Evie knows better than to try and crack wise at a time like this. So she is biting her tongue, not discussing halibut right now. She's going along. She's going along.
Rebecca speeds up, but she keeps a hand on her pistol.
Are you trying to keep an eye out? Oh, what's up?
What is that?
Chaos roll 20.
Oh?
Is that maximum chaos?
No. Elaine's being good. She was pissed off, but she kind of feeling Nathan's hand kind of grip her tighter and understanding or like seeing his expression, it triggers the oh shit, okay, kind of, thing. It's like, fine, let's just get over this, I'll complain later. And she'll move with them.
Okay. So you guys are hauling ass getting back to Rebecca's car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are any of you trying to look and see who is following you?
Nathan isn't. Nathan knows better.
Rebecca would passively, like I don't know.
Being subtle about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine would.
I don't think Evie would. Evie would be too focused on making sure Nathan's okay.
Okay. Those who would want to chance a glance to try and see who the fuck it is, roll me a spot hidden. Rebecca.
Hang on, I can make it a hard success by spending 2, right?
You could.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So, unfortunately, Rebecca, it might be the hat, but you aren't able to get eyes on whatever's following you, not without risking looking directly at them. I feel like Rebecca's smart enough that if that happens, all bets are off. But Elaine, you are just able to chance a glance at the right time, probably when Nathan shifts a bit. You can probably pass off the movement as looking at him. You spot on the roof, above one of the buildings near the docks, the woman in the group of people that you guys saw earlier. And you see in that moment, Elaine, she's there. And then, with a hard success, you see before your very eyes in that one moment that you spot her, she vanishes into mist. Roll me a sanity check.
Yay! Sorry, I was in edit mode.
So all good, man. Whew. 98. It's not a critical failure, but goddamn.
Close enough.
Dancing right on that edge.
Right on that edge. So, it's one thing to read about it. It's another thing entirely to see it. You almost think that you never saw her in the first place. But, I mean, you know better. You have really good vision. You saw her there. And then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, you just see mist or smoke, something that just shifts and drifts through the air that you lose track of. You're going to take 3 sanity. Because you don't know where she is anymore. You can't really see her anywhere. Is she behind you? Is she in front of you? Does she know where you guys are going? You don't know. But you guys get to the car. Unscathed.
Fucking throwing Evie and Elaine in. Closing the doors
Evie will
behind them.
comply.
Elaine is shivering, but not just from the cold.
If she's shivering, I feel like there would be just enough of like Nathan like trying to be a nice gentleman, even though what he's going to do is not necessarily super nice. He's going to take his coat off and like throw it in after Elaine before he closes the door. So he's just like smacked in the face by a jacket.
Bundles up in jacket, takes off ring.
As soon as he is in and closes the door and locks the door and look at everybody, count heads, frown, and wait until the car is started and moving before he kind of sees him like just relax ever so slightly, looking out the front window. We are definitely dealing with predators.
Evie will quietly nod. Did you get a good look at them in that state?
And he shakes his head. And deal with things of this kind that are gonna hunt a human. Generally better to keep moving forward once you know that you have their attention rather than looking back.
Like a shark?
He just kind of tilts his head, and there's a little bit of like, I guess, but he is not familiar enough to be able to say yes.
There's you can feel the tip of like a lecture, not quite a lecture, but a ramble coming on from Evie. And she just condenses it. They're always in motion as well. That's all.
He nods. Let's just say, if you look back and they know you didn't catch them, either they're gonna come in for the kill or they're gonna use it to toy with you.
Maybe we should have this conversation with the other then. Elaine is looking around outside the vehicle.
Yeah. Well, he didn't start talking until the car was in motion.
Yeah, but she's still a little paranoid after seeing the mist.
Yeah. He'll nod. Yeah, hotel is probably best. And he kind of pauses and looks towards Rebecca. And, no offense meant, because I'm sure you can handle yourself, but there ain't nobody at home to help back you up. You might need to be staying with us too.
She's silent for a minute. It looks like she's thinking about it. And then she's just gonna look over. Where to?
Same hotel as last time.
Were they at a hotel? I thought they were in a library.
Last time we were in Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. You are recognized.
We could also stay at the detectives, if that would be better.
That'll be on her if she wants to know people know where she lives.
I imagine she lives in like a tiny studio apartment, like above a Chinese food restaurant.
Yo, dinner.
Which she will share and invite everyone, but it would be like very cramped.
Here's a question for you, Amy. Would Evie know anyone here that they could possibly crash with?
The poor doctor.
That's true. There is Moira.
You know Moira. She did give you her address too, in case she wasn't at the hospital when you needed her.
You could do that. I was not thinking of foisting everyone upon Moira, but we could do that if everyone wanted.
That poor fucking woman.
I feel like that would be the straw that broke the camel's back for Moira.
Yeah, I don't know if we could do it to her. She's already been through so much.
I'm not gonna stop you. You can.
But so is Moira the only person Evie would know here then?
Considering I think the college around here is Harvard, I don't think she'd really know people.
Yeah, fair.
I'll say other cities,
of
just
people.
She'd know of people. I don't know if she'd be on good terms with them because of Harvard specifically.
Of people of lesser education.
Yeah.
She does think that. She does honestly think that. Which is very amusing.
See. You do know yeah, you guys goodbye. Man, all the NPCs in the chat are the ones in Boston, huh?
Yep.
Actually.
Because we're not going back to fucking Karen's place. Karen sold us out.
You can't go back to the haunted house even though it's not haunted anymore.
Yeah, I mean there'd be nobody in it. But bad memories.
I'll say that Evie herself does not know someone.
Evie, okay. So I don't know a place to go then.
As in her personally, no.
Okay.
It sounds like hotel is still best option. Because it is not super secure, but I feel like, because this was a nicer hotel, there is still some level of security by having a bunch of people around.
And we won't track whatever these vampires are to anyone's personal residence.
Yeah.
So, Amy, As DM here, is Elaine just paranoid, or is she gonna see weird mist shit around?
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
I'd like to find out, please.
Okay. While you're driving, you can roll me a spot hidden.
Hidden.
Okay, Elaine. I imagine she's kind of paranoid and looking around
Yeah.
out the windows.
Yep.
You do spot some mist on one of the rooftops that you pass by, but you're not sure if that was just a steam vent or if it was that woman. Because Elaine, you're starting to notice there's a lot of like mist and smoke just naturally. You've never noticed it before. But whether it's from different restaurants, steam coming from there, children playing, someone breaking open a fire hydrant, spraying hose from water, mist is pretty much everywhere.
She's paranoid enough, I think, but just in case, I'm gonna roll it. Yeah, she'll. Oh god, her notepad's probably drenched. Fuck.
It's a cop car. I'm sure Rebecca has a bunch of
Yeah.
them.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Detective, do you have a notepad I could borrow?
Just look under the seat.
She'll do so and write. I think we're being followed. And hand it to Nathan.
Nathan like takes the notepad, reads it, blinks, and his head will kind of thunk back against the headrest.
As go on.
No, you can go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what he would do.
As Evie sees this note, she thinks for a second and she turns toward Rebecca. Detective, would you happen to be familiar with that Major Laura Price, perhaps? I'm told she lives somewhere around this area.
No? / DM. Would I?
Probably not. This would be a retired veteran from the First War or the Great War. They don't know. No one knows there's going to be
There's another one, yeah.
They don't know there's another one.
Oh, that's sad. Nope, doesn't ring a bell.
Evie's going to put her thinking cap on and try to see if she could remember anything. DM, what's my thinking cap?
Thinking cap? Imagine she has an old address book in her possession.
She takes out an old address book, flips through it, opens up an address, and reads it aloud. Is that anywhere near here?
5 minutes. 10 tops.
Yep. It's just a few blocks away.
Right, let's go there. I'm sure we can spend the night there. And, well, Major Price was always the paranoid sort.
And Nathan will look over his shoulder towards Evie and consider her very carefully. And you're sure he's not gonna toss us to the curb?
Oh, she'd never.
He nods and will hand the notebook that Elaine wrote in back to Elaine. And just kind of give her hand a pat when she reaches for it and grabs it.
She takes it with thanks.
And I imagine in the process of going between places and stuff, especially if we've not really gone to a hotel or anything prior, Nathan's duffel bag is probably in the middle seat in the back. And so he's just gonna reach in, and out comes the stick.
Stick has protected many lives. It can protect
love
you
the stick.
more. Mm-hmm.
The great holy shillelagh.
Mm-hmm.
Shillelagh that will fucking kill Cthulhu.
So, Rebecca, the address is not that far. It's only a couple of blocks. It doesn't take you long at all. And as you roll up, it's just a quaint little house. Nothing too big, nothing too small. You'd probably figure, 2 stories, a handful, 2 or 3 bedrooms. Very small, very mundane. But you do see, on the front door is a sign that says no trespassing.
Evie sees the sign, gets up, gets out of the car, dabs herself as dry as she can, given the circumstances, turns around. Right, let me handle introductions. I'll be back shortly.
Nathan is helping Elaine out of the car. Nathan is at the point, even if this person does not want them in the house, they're going in the house. And he is handing their bags and shit to Rebecca and Elaine, and he will just take the duffel that he carries and will stay towards the back of the group. He's not going to look around, not going to look over his shoulder, but he will very specifically put himself at the back, walking towards the door once all the bags have been handed out.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine will help with grabbing the bags, but she's definitely kind of hiding in the coat that Nathan had kind of tossed to her. Almost kind of like a safety blanket a little bit. Her eyes darting around sometimes every once in a while as she picks up a bag or two.
Mm-hmm. Roll me another spot hidden, Elaine, as the group is going towards the door.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend 10 luck.
I see this is how I get Iris to drain her luck.
Paranoia.
Yeah, just make her paranoid. Alright. So, if you're gonna spend 10 luck, it's a good chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, at first, Elaine, You look around, you're looking at rooftops, you're looking around corners, you're looking for signs of mist that don't belong. And you can breathe because you don't see any. You don't see any smoke, you don't see any mist. Any that you do see look natural, you know? It makes sense for some to come out of that vent. You don't see any stray mist all on yourself. And as you have this little sigh of relief, you notice that driving by in a car, all on their own, is that same woman. And she turns and turns onto another street.
We just got this woman killed.
So she's gone, driving down the road. But you did see her.
Elaine was starting to feel a bit better, like, okay, cool, this is fine. And then sees the vehicle and sees the woman. And she doesn't straight up stare, but like from the corner of her eye, she follows that vehicle. And as it turns, and she kind of stops and like takes a step back and kind of leans into Nathan a little bit, kind of thing. She is very much scared right now.
Oh. While this is happening, a certain doctor is knocking on a door.
Yep. Knocks on the door, waits patiently.
All right. It takes a second, but eventually the door cracks open. Now, Evie, how long has it been since she has seen this person?
Like a good 20 years at least. Like Evie was a kid.
Mm-hmm. So she looks at Evie, and what's she wearing again?
Evie, she's not wearing her usual suit. I imagine that she's like actually wearing a dress for once, but it's not one of her nicer ones.
Mm-hmm.
Lost the hat somewhere.
Probably in the water.
Doesn't seem too upset about it.
So the door creaks open, and you just hear a voice from behind the door just speak out. Yeah, I'm not interested in what you're selling.
Well, I'm not selling anything. As a matter of fact, I do know you. It's been several years. You see, you knew my father.
There's a pause, and then the door shuts. And you hear the little sliding clack of the chain lock open before the door opens. And you see a woman who is pretty tall, pretty stocky, pretty fucking built. She's a bit older. You probably peg her at her early to mid 40s. And she's wearing pretty, comfortable clothing. I imagine she has a dress that has, the typical apron on, but it's a little fussed up. It's got some stains on it from cooking, from other things. It's not very pristine, but it's very cozy. It's very durable. And she looks at Evie, and her jaw kind of just drops for a second as she looks Evie up and down. And she looks to the group behind Evie, and then back to Evie. She says, "Wait, Remora Sharp?"
Evie just waves her hands immediately. Not so loud. They don't know. We're in a spot of trouble. I thought perhaps we could stop by, stay the night, somewhere nice and safe.
Her eyes just narrow at the trouble part, and she just opens the door and just gestures, just get inside. Everyone just get the fuck inside.
Evie turns, waves for everybody, does the sort of like head tilt gesture of "come on in," you know?
Oh, there was no waiting. Like Nathan was already like gone.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if Elaine is being like very clearly more nervous than Elaine usually ever is.
Mm-hmm. No hesitation. Once everyone's in, she closes the door, she locks it. She's got like 3 or 4 locks on this bitch added on. She closes the blinds to the windows, draws the curtains. And as you guys get settled in and dump all your bags, on the table, she's going to start, put the kettle on, get some tea going. And that's where we're going to call it for today.
Hey.
Nice.